Welcome to this lab. In this lab, we're going to look at build an LLM and RAG based chat application using AlloyDB and LangChain. One of the best tools for reducing Gen AI hallucination is to use RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. RAG is the concept of retrieving some data or information, then augmenting your prompt used with your large language model or LLM, which allows it to generate more accurate response based on the data included in the prompt. You also leverage the capability of AlloyDB AI Google Cloud Database for AI-powered application and LangChain, a framework for developing applications to connect the LLM to external data sources. So by the end of this lab, you will have a functional chat application that can intelligently answer questions by retrieving relevant information from your database. So this is the diagram, what we are going to build today. What you will learn. First, you will learn how LLM process language and how RAG enhance their capability by retrieving relevant information from a knowledge base. Secondly, set up and interact with AlloyDB and a scalable and performant PostgreSQL database designed for demanding workloads. You will explore LangChain tools and components for building LLM-powered applications, including documents, loader, prompt templates, and chains. Fourth, connect AlloyDB as a vector store with large LangChain, allowing the chat application to access and retrieve relevant information for generating response. Then finally, develop a user-friendly interface for interacting with the chat application, allowing users to ask questions and receive informative answers. First, we will activate the Cloud Shell. So in the task 1, we're going to initialize the environment. So we will enter this G-Cloud Compute SSH instance. So we will connect into this virtual machine. Okay, so press enter for the other two responses. First, we will need to install the update using this sudo command. And this is the password as we want to connect to the AlloyDB. Oh, we didn't set the project yet. Still unset. Okay. So I first have to set the project ID using this command. Okay, so now we can do the rest. So once you are connected, you will see this prompt here, and I will exit the session and back to my original active shell prompt. In the task 2, we are going to initialize the database. We are going to use the client virtual machine as a platform to populate the database with data and host your application. The first step is to create a database and populate it with data. So we will create a database name called Assistant Demo. Okay, so the database is created. Now we want to enable the BG vector extension. The extension is created. Okay, I can mark my task 2 as completed. Now we will need to install the Python. So in the virtual machine, we're going to execute Python command to install it. So we have finished the installation, and now we are in the virtual environment. So let's execute this command, and we have the Python version 3.112. Task 4, populate the database. So now we're going to get some data into the database by using the git clone. And then we will prepare the configuration file in the virtual machine service. We will install this one. So the SED is to replace all the existing text with certain new value. So this is when you want to read the file in the config YAML, so you can use the cat command. Okay, all good. Now we will install the requirement file. So the first command is adding all the required package to the Python virtual environment, and the second command is populating the database with the data. So the populating database with the sample dataset is completed. I can mark my task 4 as completed. Now moving on to the task 5, deploy the retrieval service to Cloud Run. Let's open another new Cloud Shell. And run this command. So again, you get the same error because you need to set the project ID. Okay, first we will need to get the project ID. That's the project ID. And then we're going to set the project ID. So first I will copy this project ID here and type in gcloud config and the project ID. And then you will see now the project ID is updated, and we can run this command again. Exit that. Okay, I can check whether I have created the service account retrieval identity. Yes, it's already completed. Now the task 6 is to deploy the retrieval service. Continue in the first tab when we are back to the first tab. So we want to change our folder path and then run the gcloud alpha run deploy. As you can see, this deployment is still in progress. They list out all the status that they have completed, and I think they are up to the building container, and then 2 more to go. That is the creating revision and routing the traffic. Okay, I think it's all done. Now we can verify the service. So now we can check if the service run correctly and the virtual machine has access to the endpoint. we will use gcloud utility to get the retrieval service endpoint, or you can check it in the cloud console and replace in the curl command the gcloud run service list filter. Right now, let's use this command, curl to test. Yeah, I can see there's a return message hello world here. So it means that your service is up and serving the request. In the task 7, we're going to move to the task 7 now, deploy the sample application. When you have the retrieval service up and running, you can deploy a sample application which is going to use the service. The application can be deployed on the virtual machine or any other service like Cloud Run, Kubernetes, or even locally on a laptop. Next, we are going to deploy a sample application on the virtual machine. So first we will go to the folder LLM demo and then install the requirement packages. So before starting the application, you need to set up some environment variable. The basic functionality of the application, such as query the flight and airport amenities, require the base URL, which the points application to the retrieval service we can get is using the gcloud command. So now we are going to prepare the client ID. To use more advanced capability of the application like booking and changing flight, we need to sign into the application using the Google account. For that purpose, we need to provide client ID environment variable using the OAuth client ID from the prepare client ID chapter. To use the booking functionality of the application, we need to prepare OAuth 2.0 client ID using the cloud console. It will be when we sign into the application, since booking is using client credentials to record the booking data in the database. So now we move back to the cloud here and go to the API and services and go to the OAuth consent screen and then get started. And for the app's name, we call it Simba Air. And for the email, we will use the given one. Click on next. And for the audience, we will choose the internal. And then next. And then for the contact information, you use back the email that given in the instruction page. Click next and click on agree, continue, and finally create. The next step is to create the client ID. So we go to the clients here and then click on the create client. And for the application, we will choose the web application. And add another one. That's for the 8081. And then in the authorized redirect, we will have to change 8081 login. All good now. So let's create. We will receive this client ID and client secret. With that, I can mark my task completed. Now moving on to the next task. Let's run the Python. So open a new Cloud Shell here, and then connect to the virtual machine. Again, you have to set your project ID. So if you see this cannot assign request address, you can ignore it. Okay, so we are now expected to see this output. It opens the port 8080 in your Cloud Shell, which can be used for your web preview. Now go to the preview on the port 80. This will open a new tab in your web browser. With the application interface, you should see the Simba Air Customer Service Assistant page. So the demo showcases here the Simba Air Customer Service Assistant. Simba is a fictional passenger airline. The assistant is an AI chatbot that helps travelers to manage flights and look up information about Simba Air Hub at the San Francisco International Airport. It can help to answer user questions like by typing in this question. And then the next question, are there any luxury shop? And then where can I get coffee? And then where can I buy a gift? And congratulations, we have successfully built a cutting-edge chat application that leverages large language model and retrieval augmented generation for engaging and informative conversation. So by combining the power of AlloyDB vector database with the LangChain flexible framework, you created an intelligent agent capable of accessing and utilizing vast amount of information to generate context-relevant response. Thank you.